All right, my friends, you are listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. Yes, I am your host, Todd Huff. Yes, I did watch this silly, ridiculous speech last night. And yes, we're going to talk about it today. You can email me your thoughts, your opinions, your feedback, your adoration and praise for, of course, the host here, not for President Joe Biden. Todd at ToddHuffShow.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, well, until they kick us off there. So, folks, it's not surprising at all, but it's still, there's something to behold when you watch what I witnessed. I don't know if you watched this speech last night. All joking aside, sarcasm, hyperbole, exaggeration aside momentarily here, that speech was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely, unquestionably terrible. I don't know anything that was good about it. It ended, thankfully. The dollars stopped adding up at some point, but it was absolutely, positively atrocious. There are so many things I've got jotted down here in notes. I jot down notes when I watch these sorts of things, these speeches. Biden called the January 6th insurrection, the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. Did you catch that, Oz? Worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. As folks had pointed out, I've seen on social media, we did have something on December 7th, 1941 called Pearl Harbor. So in the minds of Joe Biden and the radical left, in between elbow bumps and fist bumps and masks and social distancing and vaccinated people there in the Capitol, half filled or whatever. It wasn't even half filled, was it? Maybe a quarter filled or some such thing. Joe Biden was saying it's the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. He also forgot about something called 9/11, September 11th, 2001, where many of you, some of you listening to my voice, either you or maybe your children were not born or even alive at the time of 9/11, but we know many people listening to me were here. We're adults or students in school. On 9/11, we saw an attack on our nation that caused the two Twin Towers in New York City to crumble to the ground. Biden thinks that the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War, which I know that in case there's a millennial tuned in, millennials sometimes think that the Civil War happened in 1914 and it was fought between France and the city of Baltimore or something. But the Civil War was in the 1860s, 1861 to 65, in fact, I believe. But anyway, he doesn't believe this. Who knows what Biden believes? I guess that's my first takeaway from this last night, is that it's bad political theater. It is fabricated. It is a series of either fabricated or imagined crises. Now, there are crises facing America today. There's no doubt. But many of the things we're taught to be fighting against are things that are either fabricated, exaggerated, or sometimes all out imagined. And I am going to say this infatuation with white supremacy. To state the completely obvious here, 100% against white supremacists. Does this need to be said today? Does this really need to be said? That someone's against white supremacy. It is such a fringe, it is such a radical fringe, just powerless. It is so insignificant, this group, but it is given constantly a platform by the left. and the media, because they want people in the middle of America, middle of the ideological spectrum, not physically middle America, but just people that are who can be swayed one way or the other. They want them thinking that Republicans are white supremacists and racists. That's what they want people thinking. They want people thinking Republicans are the ones that created all this animosity, angst, racial tensions. Republicans created it because they're white supremacists, because they were involved in building this nation. They're basically modern day Klansmen. They're out there trying to make sure America stays white and all this kind of stuff. All this kind of stuff is what they want people in the middle of the political spectrum to believe, that Republicans are racist. And then to think, man, if I vote for Republicans, I'm by extension racist. I'm not racist. I can't be racist. That's a terrible thing. So I better vote Democrat. I'm telling you, this works on some people. This works on some people. But to say the insurrection, look, what happened on January 6th was bad. There were people that died related to January 6th. But to say, first of all, to call it an insurrection, in my estimation, is a complete over-exaggeration. Do we really believe? Do we really believe that they were going to take over the Capitol and thereby be the rulers of America? Is that what these folks? It's beyond ridiculous what they want us to believe. Still not good. See, and this is the way that it's done today. People are hesitant to say what I just said, because if you say that, oh, well, you must be okay with this. You must be a white. What are you talking about? No, it shouldn't have happened. The people that were involved and who broke the law. Now, there were peaceful protesters in D.C. that day. I'm talking about if you actually did something that was against the law, then you should face the consequences. This is not complicated. It was not some great attempt to overthrow our government. Are you stinking kidding me? No, it is ridiculous. When whatever laws were broken, whatever immoral, unethical, unjustifiable, violence, whatever, to whatever extent that happened, those folks need to be held to account. Just like, by the way, that's true for a Black Lives Matter protest or an Antifa riot, right? This is not complicated. It is not complicated. But to call this the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War is beyond responsible. Again, Pearl Harbor. I watched documentaries on this. I've read and studied. World War II is a fascinating part of American history to me. How America rose up to defeat the evils that were in the world, to liberate Europe, to liberate Southeast Asia, the South Pacific Islands, and so forth. America had a huge role in that. We sacrificed tremendously in this nation. People rose up and fought. The men, fought the front lines. The women fought the battle from, the factories and so forth, supplying the troops. It was a magnificent thing to behold. December 7th, 1941 was an absolutely terrible day. It pulled America into World War II, and this was something that Winston Churchill, who I still think is almost single-handedly responsible for maybe being the person that, I don't know that World War II would have been won. I don't know without a Winston Churchill. He'd been begging the United States and FDR to intervene. Some folks thought Hitler was just going to, just take over one more country and then take it easy and that was it, sort of thing, I guess. I don't know. The naivete that existed and still exists even amongst learned people, the so-called experts who are wrong consistently. Neville Chamberlain, who basically capitulated and let Hitler take over all of Europe before they realized that there was a problem that needed to be fought and addressed. That was what was happening back in the late 30s, early 40s. Pearl Harbor, of course, was on in 1941, December 7th. Well, to compare that's just, again, this is one of the stupid lines from this speech last night. Of course, I think today is the 100th day. I said it yesterday. But this again, the speech itself, in my opinion, was a series of making outrageous claims, creating straw man arguments, creating imaginary or fabricated or very exaggerated problems in America today. Now, there are problems. Please don't misunderstand me. But the things that they propose to solve these problems, they have to amp up what the problem is. The government, this is what the government does so many times. The government says there's a problem, so they say they're going to fix it. The government makes whatever problem that existed much worse by trying to fix it. Take, for example, I got to take a break here. Oz just told me it's time to take a break. But take, for example, what we're facing right now with employment, specifically at places like restaurants. I've got some people that I've spoken with that have shared the struggles and the problems right now. Some restaurants are literally killing it in business right now. They have so many sales, they're busting at the seams. But they can't find people to work. Why can't they find people to work? Go and ask one. I've talked to multiple. They've all told me the same thing, and I don't plant this thought in their mind. I ask them why. I make them tell me. I don't say it, even if it's obvious and they look at me like, why don't you understand why we don't have people? I don't say it because I want them to say it, not me. And what they tell me to an individual is that because of unemployment and all the free money, the stimulus checks flying around out there, they cannot get people to work. Some of them have given significant raises. Some of them they have tried everything imaginable. And some of these restaurants, and you're going to, if you haven't seen this already, I see it's unavoidable. You're going to go to a restaurant one day and it's either going to be, God forbid, permanently closed or maybe just closed for the day or for the week. Restaurants that are typically open 7 days a week, you're going to see that they're going to take a week off. I've heard of multiple examples of this. You're going to see some adjust their hours. They're going to be closed. I'm not making an argument whether they should be open 7 days a week. I know we got Chick-fil-A out there that closes on Sundays. I'm not saying good or bad, any of that. That's not the point. The point is the rationale and the reasoning for closing, well, not even the reasoning, it's just the reality is that they can't find help. Turns out you need to have staff to be able to operate a restaurant. So why can't they find staff? Well, that's because the government took its finger and placed it upon the scale and pressed down to now where they were trying to fix one problem. And I'm not saying there wasn't other problems worth fixing, but again, what caused the problems worth fixing to begin with? Is it not our original responses to COVID? Our over-the-top, shut down, shelter in place, don't look out the window. By the way, I saw a series of a post from the Babylon Bee that I might read from a little bit later today, kind of mocking some of these charts out there about what mask or what vaccinated and unvaccinated people can do. But anyway, you put your fingers on the scale, the government does, and it creates a problem. Why'd they put their finger on the scale? Because they were trying to fix an original problem, a problem that maybe wasn't even that bad, maybe was even argued or framed as a problem for political purposes, and then you press down, and then you create a series of other problems. This is just the way that it works. It is so patently obvious, and I wish more people, I know you see it, but I wish more people in this country would see it. So that's Biden's solutions. That summarizes, I think, pretty much every solution, every proposed piece of legislation that Biden mentioned last night, putting maybe not even his finger, maybe putting his foot on the scale and tipping it in one direction. I mean, it is the stuff that Americans were asked to do, that Congress was asked to do last night, are not good for this country. I don't know a single one that would have any positive impact on this great nation. Anyway, timeout's in order. Gonna take a quick timeout, come back, talk about some of the things he said last night, talk about the response. Tim Scott gave the response last night, and the racist on Twitter came out in full force after him, calling him Uncle Tim. Uncle Tim. In case you may not know, most of you probably do, Tim Scott is a black Republican senator from the great state of South Carolina. Gave the rebuttal and what is trending on Twitter, but Uncle Tim, Uncle Tom, and that's basically how they respond. This is how they respond to conservative Republican black men. You call them Uncle Tim, you call them Uncle Tom, and that's cool. I don't even know that Twitter's done anything about it. Twitter's, I guess, down with that. Jack Dorsey's cool with that hashtag, I guess. Meanwhile, they won't let, or maybe it was YouTube. Maybe it was YouTube that took down the Dan Bongino interview with President Trump. That cannot be seen by the American people. No. But Uncle Tim and Uncle Tom can trend on Twitter. Timeout is in order. Come back and pick up in a few. Sit tight. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not better talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, Care to Change, and Interior Construction Services by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today, providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price. Our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create, on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Know someone looking for a fun summer job? We're now hiring lifeguards around the Indianapolis area. Make a difference while meeting new people, build your teamwork skills, and spend time outdoors. We offer lifeguard certification classes. To find out more, go to indianapolis-pmg.com and choose the lifeguarding menu option. That's indianapolis-pmg.com.
Flooded basement, failed sump pump. Water damage happens fast this time of year. For 38 years now, Hayes & Sons has been restoring water damage in Indiana homes and businesses. They'll help you navigate your insurance claim and get your life back on track. So when a water disaster strikes, tell your insurance agent you want Hayes & Sons for your restoration work. Visit hayesandSons.com/Todd for more information.
Not again! There's never any hot water left for my shower. Everyone else gets a nice long soak and I'm left with ice water. I'm calling Commercial Service about their latest offer on tankless water heaters. I can save up to $800 on an installation. No more cold showers for me.
Call the partner you can trust. Call Commercial Service at 812-339-9114 or online at commercialservice.com. Commercial Service. Commercial grade service for your home.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep. What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back, my friends. Sorry, I had to do something here. Distracted for a second as Oz was showing me something, and I'm trying to pull something up here. The program, by the way, brought to you by our friends at Peace Restored. Peace Restored, located in Mooresville, provides services, counseling services. It's a nonprofit organization, counseling services to women. They have an annual golf outing that is scheduled to happen on June the 4th. They're looking for participants. Maybe you want to sponsor the event as well. You can find more information about both participating and becoming a sponsor donor on their website, peacerestored.net. Peacerestored.net is the website address. Great organization. I know Ann who runs it. She's actually a neighbor there, just a couple doors down from us. And I've known Ann for 20 plus years. Peacerestored.net. Check it out if you're interested. So let's talk a little about Tim Scott. I know we're talking about Biden's speech. There's just a lot to unpack. A lot to unpack in the wake of a night like last night where there was a speech given by Biden and then, of course, the rebuttal. But Tim Scott, Republican senator from the state of South Carolina, Tim Scott does the rebuttal. And Tim Scott, of course, as a black Republican, is targeted. You talk about racist attacks. Tim Scott is called Uncle Tim and Uncle Tom. And that's right. That's keeping it classy. Right? That's keeping it that's objective in the minds of the radical left. I'm telling you, this at some point becomes a mental disorder. The amount of hatred, vitriol, and rage that these folks have. The idea that they see a black Republican senator and they lose it. They just absolutely lose it. Because you can't be a black Republican senator. Because the Republican Party is the modern party of the KKK. Never mind, we had literal KKK members in the Democrat Party. Doesn't matter. Who cares? That doesn't matter. They'll tell you that was in the past, and today's Democrat Party and Republican Party, they flipped. That's what they want you to believe. This is what political science wants you to believe. The racist Democrats of the 1950s and 60s, they are now Republicans. They flipped in the South. Oh, yes, this is what they want you to believe. Lincoln, of course, the one who was responsible for the Emancipation Proclamation, fighting slavery, all this sort of stuff, would be a modern-day Democrat because the party's flipped. This is, again, what they want you to believe. This party, the Democrat Party, at least the leadership of the party, the figureheads, the people that hold office, the media, are fixated. They want us, they say in one breath, America needs to racially heal. But in the next breath, all they do is throw gasoline on this fire of racism. And I got to be honest, I get tired of talking about this. But it is it may be the number one tool that the Democrat Party uses today is race to divide and to conquer Americans, to pit people against each other. Folks, I do not care. We are human beings created in the image of God. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. God loves every single one of us. God created every single one of us in his image. He created every single one of us to have a relationship with him. He created every single one of us with his fingerprints upon us. And the differences should be appreciated. And I mean, I love the differences when I get to speak with someone. You learn from people who are different. And by the way, maybe a news flash here, the only differences between us are not the colors of our skin. That's why I call it superficiality. The superficial left wants us to focus on just the things that are not, and I'm not saying that there's nothing interesting about heritage and background. Of course, that's fascinating. I love to know where people come from and understand their backgrounds and their family heritage and so forth. I jokingly say on here, it's true. I'm the 13th great grandson of Pocahontas. And I say that because I have the ability as the self-appointed spokesperson for the Pocahontas family. Anytime Trump says to Elizabeth Warren, you're Pocahontas, I'm going to chime in and say, we allow it because it doesn't offend me. As the spokesperson, as her 13th great-grandson, I'm going to chime in and say, there you go. But this is interesting stuff. But to use it as a tool to divide people, it's beyond, or to get votes, which is what they do oftentimes. We got to stop allowing this to happen. We really do. I'm going to play this real quick and then take a break. Tim Scott, this is what gets Tim Scott in trouble. Republican rebuttal speech, basically saying, well, he says it outright, America is not a racist country.
Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Uh-oh.
It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present.
Yeah, unleash the Twitter trolls after that. That's what happened. That's what gets the guy called Uncle Tim, Uncle Tom. That's where this argument goes. That's where the so-called debate goes. Within 5 seconds, the self-righteous, radical race baiters on Twitter start calling Tim Scott Uncle Tim and Uncle Tom because of that. And why is he saying that? Because he's responding to a speech where Joe Biden, amongst many other ridiculous things, is of course further exasperating the problem between races. I mean, this is the party. The Democrat Party is the party that's now talking about reparations. Every time I say that, I think of George Costanza and on Seinfeld. But reparations and it's actually introduced now. Literal reparations are introduced. And Tim Scott basically saying America's not a racist nation. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can't allow that to happen. Anyway, timeout is necessary. Come back. Lots more to unpack and talk about regarding last night and speeches and some of the fallout like what we're seeing here with Tim Scott. But we'll continue that in a minute. Sit tight. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am America's Realities Are, back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter. To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
Corn Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corn Homes, family owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
There is plenty to worry about these days. If you're working with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual, your retirement and financial security doesn't need to be one of them. Blake is a time-tested financial advisor with over 20 years of experience at Northwestern Mutual. For an independent review of your financial planning needs, call Blake and mention the Todd Huff Show for a free initial consultation. Call 317-215-8322 or visit blakehornsby.com. Invest in your peace of mind with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual. Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing, and electrical done right. Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the word. For on time.
Welcome back. By the way, I have a new advertiser, Aquatic Management. They are hiring lifeguards in and around the Indianapolis area. They offer lifeguard certification classes. They need lots of lifeguards over the summer. And so, maybe a good job for student, if you're listening to my voice, if you're a college student or maybe even qualified high school student, maybe a job worth taking a look at. Or if you're a parent or grandparent of one of these young people, this could be the dream job of someone in high school. I mean, to be at the pool all summer and work on the tan and all that. Great organization, Indianapolis-PMG.com. Indianapolis PMG.com. You go there, just select the lifeguarding option on the website to find out more information, how to apply and all that. Indianapolis-PMG.com. Check it out. And it could be a great fit for you or your child, your grandchild here over the summer, a good summer job. So, one of the other things that I learned from I didn't learn it. It was exposed again last night. Is just this the Democrats and their one-liners. These statements that people hear, and again, these statements are an inch deep and a mile wide. They seem to encompass everything in life and tell us that Democrats, or tell some people Democrats have the solution to every problem that America faces, when in fact, as I said earlier, their solutions often almost always, create a bigger problem, and they never address the underlying problem. We've been fighting the war on poverty since the 1960s. These problems never go away because they help get Democrats elected. They help divide people, right? Divide people by skin color, divide people by religion, divide people whether or not they're pro or anti-gun, divide people based upon whether they're, Christian or not, or whatever. They're liberal or conservative or moderate or what have you. This is done constantly, dividing people. But they do this a lot of times through, and I jotted down some of these things last night that they say. Pay your fair share. That's one that they say. Pay your fair share. Biden last night said, whose taxes do you want to raise? Acknowledging that taxes were going to have to be raised. Shocking, by the way. This is what Democrats always do. Democrats believe that what you earn first and foremost belongs to them, belongs to this nation, belongs to somebody else. It's their job to take what you earn and then to reallocate it to someone else. I'm not a guy. I'm practical in my conservatism. There are certainly things that taxes need to be used, to be raised to provide. Government has a role. All taxes are not evil, but the level of taxation, in fact, I wrote about this in this week's column, which you can now find on our website, but that we email out every Tuesday. This week I did it Wednesday morning because I just had to do one more round of editing before I sent it out yesterday morning, which you can subscribe, toddfshow.com/subscribe, totally free. But I wrote a little bit about this. I wrote a little bit about this issue. But anyway, just this concept here of taxation and the way that Democrats look at money, look at the way the economy works. If you listen to a Democrat or a liberal, you would think that it's the government determines what everybody makes, that there's some price list in heaven that they consult God with to say, okay, I got someone down here who is a welder. What should they earn? What's the correct amount for that to be, right? That's kind of the concept and the approach. And the sad thing is that the government should be spending money only on those things that the Constitution empowers them to do. Now, we are so far past that. If we cut back to what the Constitution truly permitted or called for or empowered our government to do, the federal workforce should be cut by a massive percentage, because this government is way out of control. It's so far out of control that I don't even think we would recognize it if it got back within the confines of our government. We certainly wouldn't be having a lot of these problems. But the way that the government should function is to first, you have to work within your means. You don't say this is what we're going to do, and now we got to go figure out how much money, how we're going to take more money from people, or we're going to go borrow or print more money. That's not the way to do this. You should collect a reasonable amount of taxes, and then you should allocate those funds based upon priorities. And the things that are not within the Constitution or within the priority list should not be funded. It just shouldn't work the other way around. You shouldn't just put out your wish list like government Santa Claus. Rush Limbaugh made this analogy years ago, but that's how the left looks at this a lot. Government Santa Claus, you sit on Santa's lap. Oh, what can I give you this year? And Santa, you just tell him. And then Santa magically shows up at your house overnight, Christmas morning, I guess, with all of your demands. No price tag attached or any, just whatever you want, just throw it in there. Government takes care of it. That's the approach here. And what's pay your fair share mean? I tell my children, I do, that the fair is the four-letter F word. I don't like it when, well, Dad, that's not fair. I understand justice. Look, justice is one thing, but don't cry about fairness. You have to figure out there's a whole lot of things in life that are not quote unquote fair. We got to deal with what we've got and figure it out. Just the way that it is. Sit here and whine and tell me it's not fair. I don't even know what it means. What does it mean to pay your fair share? Joe Biden, this guy makes, person A makes $200,000 a year. Would you tell me what their fair share is? Maybe this is a question for Dr. Fauci, the scientist who follows the science but yet can give no scientific number to Jim Jordan about how many infections have to be in America. COVID infections new infections need to be across the country before we can return to normal or have some sort of a check mark that says we've reached this criteria. He just says it needs to be fewer. Fewer than what? Fewer than 1? Fewer than 10? Fewer than 100? What are we talking about, Dr. Fauci? Same thing here. Pay your fair share. Pay your fair share. Healthcare is a right. That's something else that was said. I wouldn't doubt that there's some in this audience that think that. I want to maybe address that after the break. I've done this before, but maybe that's worth doing again on the flip side of this break, but I've got to take it. Quick timeout. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? There is a cure. With the Pro-Life Health Plan, your savings could be as much as 60%. The Pro-Life Health Plan allows you to enjoy the freedom of choosing any doctor, any hospital, anywhere. And their enrollment is open year-round. Just give Eric a call at 888-448-5370 or visit them online at isellhealth.com. Better coverage at a better cost.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats. Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
Welcome back. Talking about some of these one-liners or phrases that I heard last night that I've heard Democrats say in general. One of those, healthcare is a right. Healthcare is a good thing. Healthcare is a good thing. Healthcare is something we should seek to make accessible, affordable. Absolutely. All that is true. But healthcare is not a right. If you think healthcare is a right, there's a misunderstanding about what a right is. A right is something that we are given by our Creator. A right is something that is within us and our created being. So, for example, I have the right to free speech, meaning I have the right to express my thoughts, opinions, ideas. You can hate them, you can ignore them, you can do whatever you want with them, but I have that right. I have the right. The Second Amendment enumerates this in the Bill of Rights, but the right to basically protect myself, my family, my property. I have the right to do that. The right to keep and bear arms is the way in which I do that. I don't have the right for someone to give me a gun, but I have the right to use and have a gun, firearms, for protecting myself against a common thief all the way up, or, whatever, someone breaking in to harm my family, to a tyrant, and anything in between. But healthcare is not a right. Again, it's a good thing. It's something that hopefully the government is not putting obstacles in front of people getting healthcare. Unfortunately, that is exactly what they do. That is exactly what they do. They make the problem worse. They do. I mean, you go back through history and you can look at from the way health insurance back from Ted Kennedy was introduced through Obamacare and all these things in between. They've interfered with the free market's ability to provide, there's health care and there's also the ability for one to pay for health care. Those are two different things, but they tie those together, again, for political purposes. And they're out there saying health care is a right. Healthcare, a right is not contingent upon someone else doing something for you because it's yours to have. I mean, to carry this out to its conclusion, I mean, are we going to say that if there's, let's just say you're on a desert island and there's, 10 people and someone says, I have the right to health care, and there's one person that knows how to perform health care, do you have the right to force them to provide it? Look, maybe they should. I'm not suggesting. I'm just saying a right is something that's different from saying we should try to have these things in our society. That's a right comes from God, and there's other good things, other things we should pursue. But to say it's a right is a misunderstanding of what that really means. They also say reward work, not wealth. That's what Biden said last night. Who's doing the rewarding? Government? Is government here to reward us now? And that's the connotation. And people nod along with this silly stuff. I got to take a break. Come back and wrap up. Sit tight. Back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy heating, air conditioning, and plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com.
Our word can't be diluted, because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
Welcome back, my friends. Really quickly, I'd seen this chart, the Babylon Bee's Guide to Choosing Safer Activities. So they have a chart here with icons for unvaccinated people and fully vaccinated people. I just want to read a couple of these to you. By the way, the options are double mask, dead, or safe, stunning, and brave. The only thing that you can be safe, stunning, and brave and not use a mask for is rioting for justice. Rioting for justice. Everything else, walking alone in the park, Babylon Bee says unvaccinated people dead. Hiking alone in Antarctica, dead. Walking on the surface of Mars, dead. Being banished to the Phantom Zone, dead. Watching Netflix alone, dead. All these things kill you. All these things will basically kill you according to the Babylon Bee here. Brooding in your fortress of solitude, dead. Crazy times. Crazy times here for the Babylon, as the Babylon Bee shows us. But folks, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. SDG, take care.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks.
Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They